Hi, welcome to Slow Fashion Rebel. My name is Emily, and this is my lovely friend.
Sophie, hello.
Um, I'm coming to you from Brooklyn, New York, and Sophie.
I am in Cheltenham, Gloucestershire, UK. I don't know why I put the county in, but just, for context.
Um, and we are Slow Fashion Rebel, which I already said. We are a crafty podcast or YouTube channel. We're both knitters, and I've been obsessed with cross stitch lately. And I also have a professional experience in garment construction. So I do some sewing now and then as well. And so, welcome. Today is November 9th. Yes, it's November 9th. Joe Biden was just elected president in the US. Yay!
A day to remember, or I guess the day to remember would have been Saturday.
Yeah. It's been a really crazy week, so I have a lot of crafting to show. Sophie and I were just chatting right before we started recording, and something I didn't mention during that chat, we were talking about politics and stuff, but something I didn't mention in that chat was, so last week, shortly the day after I chatted with you last week, Tim found out that somebody in his office had tested positive for coronavirus.
Oh no.
So we were immediately tested and we're both negative, but we've been quarantining this entire week. And also there was an election. So it's like I could have been doing stuff like, I didn't have any work to do at home because I work in a retail shop, Brooklyn General Store. It's a lovely yarn and craft shop in Brooklyn. Um, I asked if she wanted me to do any work from home and she said no. And so I could have done like graphic design, portfolio stuff. I could have worked on my Etsy shop, Slow Fashion Rebel on Etsy. I could have worked on my knitting pattern, and I did a little bit work on my knitting pattern, but I was basically glued to the TV for 4 straight days because it was such a freaking nail biter. So I have a lot of crafting to show this
Yay.
week. Anyway, how's your week been?
It's been good. I also have been quite crafty, in a craft sense, not in a plotting sense. So I even had a dream about knitting last night. This is the
Really?
level which is reached. It was a really weird dream. It was kind of like a negative knitting dream. I don't know. And maybe I was making something. I was in a shop, or I felt like I was in an interview situation. I don't really remember what the context was. Then I remember this lady asked me like, "Oh, why do you always knit from patterns? Things other people have designed. Is it because you're not capable of doing the knitting maths?" And she's like really mean to me, and I was like, no, like I could do the maths if I wanted to, but I just like things that other people have already made. Why would I bother making up something? Because there's nothing out there that I want that I haven't found. And she was like, no, because you can't do it. I was like, I can do the maths. I can convert yarn. I can make things up if I want to. And I woke up really kind of annoyed with her, whoever's dream. So yeah, just been, don't really know what that means or what my subconscious was thinking about last night. But yeah, general crafting. I've got so many projects on the go. I've cast on 2 new projects since I last saw you, and I've just been furiously knitting away to Riviera season 1. So don't spoil it for me
Oh,
anymore.
that's that show. Right.
Yeah,
Okay. I have to watch that. Okay, now I'm
it's
writing
very
it
good.
down.
You need to write it down. I've been ripped. And it's kind of like art. It's set in the Riviera in France, like near Cannes, I guess, and it involves art as well. So I think you'll like it.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like very glamorous.
Tim and I have been watching The Good Place, which,
Oh, I saw that advertised. It's really good.
yeah, it's so funny because it's not that often that Tim chooses a show that I'm like, really, this is awful. Why did you choose this? And that's how I felt after the first episode. But I don't know if you've ever watched The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. That's how I also felt after that first episode. But then once you get a little more into it with both these shows, it's like, oh, I was supposed to hate that. Like, but you have to get past the first couple of episodes because it's one of those sickeningly like perfect things at first. And I was like, what? Why did you choose this? Like, this is so not you. But then I got it later. So.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a go there. It's on my list of things to watch.
Okay.
Oh, and I've also been watching The Undoing. Have you seen that with, it's got Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant in it. So we've only got to episode 2, so I don't know if they've all come out in the US, because I think it was shown in the US first, and then it's on Sky or Now TV here. But that's really good as well. It's set in New York too, so I kind of thinking, I know where that is. Or,
yeah.
Oh my God, they must have so much money to live in an apartment that big.
Right, yeah. So for those of you who are just joining us, Sophie and her husband Jake lived in New York last year. I remember I was saying last episode that we met this summer, but we actually met like a year ago because of Knit Night started a year ago at Brooklyn General Store where I work, and but we got close this summer. Anyway, so Sophie and Jake lived here for a very short period of time in Brooklyn, and that's how we met. And we've been keeping in touch via podcast. Anyway, yeah, that's why Sophie knows all the places in New York.
Yeah, I've got the tour guide list ready for anyone who's going on holiday. I'd kind of give it probably a couple of years, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, shall we jump into crafting?
Yes. Do you want to go first or shall I go first?
Sure. I'll go first because you went first last time.
Take your own time.
Okay, so yeah, it's been an insane crafting week. I'm just trying to think of where to start. I finished the socks, so I now have 2 socks.
I love them.
Which I like that they're like, sisters but not twins. They somehow ended up too short. Have I been able to be bothered, if that makes grammatical sense, to fix them? No, I have not. So that's gonna happen eventually, but not right now. So then after that, I did a little bit of work on the eShell. This is a pattern by Catherine Clark.
Looking gorgeous.
It's not like much farther along than it was last week, but it is officially going to be a present from my mom, and she's excited about it. So that's good. Again, it was just like, bouncing back and forth from one thing to another. Last week I talked about how I planned out this the color stuff. This is the Pandemic cross stitch pattern by Log Nog Samplers, and so the pink in here, or what's black in here, is going to be a mint color. The pink is going to be white, and the blue is going to be the dark green color. So I went in there and sort of sketched it out, and I'm pretty happy with it. I feel like there could be a little bit more blue happening up here, but I wasn't really sure.
But I like the balance you've got going on so far.
Oh, good.
But also it probably looks less blue because you have also stitched quite a lot of that already. Have you put in stuff already down?
I wasn't really sure how to. I also just noticed that there could be more blue. It's really because of up here. Like I've stitched most of this already, so I wasn't sure how to like make it look balanced. now I'll show you the real thing. But I did put in this dark one, which now I like it now that I'm holding it up to you. I was like, whoa, that's too intense right at the when, you know, but it's like the difference between looking at it like this and then looking at it like this.
Yeah, in full view.
It's better in context.
Oh, I love it so
So
much.
yeah, I feel like that makes sort of everything pop actually. Like makes the whole color scheme look it even makes this color pop that there's a
Yeah, I
light.
think everything just stands out a bit more.
Yeah. I wonder about changing this bird to white now that I have it, because it's like this pattern is interesting because there's some symmetrical elements, but there's some asymmetrical elements. And when I was deciding, you know, I had this bird white because there were a lot of different colors in there, and I was like, I just can't. And then I decided to make it monochrome, and then I just couldn't bear to take that white bird out because this is silk floss, the white. But now I don't know, it's weird to me now that this one is not white or another color, because it just in comparison, like,
Are you doing all the rest of the symmetrical ones? Will they be white both sides?
well, that's
If
the thing.
the ones
So
like
when I was doing this, give it a minute. So this is the white bird. And so I decided to do this one white, sort of to give that balance in the whole scheme. But then as I worked a little bit downwards, I did like this and this are both dark. These and this and that are both dark. So I tried to make it a little more, I mean, I tried to make it like evenly spread but random up here, but then as I was going downward, I like felt myself wanting to make it more symmetrical.
I think that's partly because the pattern as you go down feels more symmetrical.
Oh, does it? Okay.
I think maybe leave it for the minute, and then when you do that top bit, you can always go back and make it white if you feel like it might be easier to see when you have more on there, whether or not the balance works or
That's
to
true.
change it.
And I can always do the background elements first, or the like just mint colored elements first, and fill in the things that would stand out later. The other thing is like, because yeah, it's just that when all of the regular motifs are this mint color, I mean, they're beautiful, but this isn't a thing, you know? But, and the bird you can see, but like this little squirrel would not have seen, you know? So that's kind of why I feel like all the animals should be
in a color.
Color, yeah. So I might change that to white.
That's a good point. Yeah, I haven't even seen the squirrel.
Because I really like the white and the dark. Like all the three colors need to be close to each other, I discovered.
Yeah, the maximum. I like that bit there.
Me too.
And how you've picked out the detail.
Thanks. So yeah, that's that. It's kind of been nice to like give it a little bit of rest and think about it for a little while. Like I haven't been making really fast progress since that one day or week that I went all the way across. But you know, it's a really big project. It's not just something, it's not just like a quick thing. So
giving it the space it needs.
Yeah. Okay, so after I made progress with the pandemic, I picked up this one again. So this was a lot of election stuff. This is La Nuit. I was really happy to be able to get this part in there because it's just now you can like, I don't know, see
what
what's
he's
going
doing.
on.
He looks like you've nearly finished him, really.
Well, 1/4 of the way. I did have a page finished because this comes in 4 pages. And so this line here that's a whole page finished. So it'll be the same amount there, there, and there. So really I'm just over 1/4 finished plus this.
Yeah, I'd say like a third.
A third, yeah. Almost done, basically.
Yeah, I'm not very good at percentages, but it looks like a third to me.
Yeah, it's okay. I appreciate the encouragement. So after that, I took a break from stitching and I had a day where I cut a bunch of stuff for sewing, which was felt really good because this pair of pants, I'm not going to be able to show the pants because it's not like in any way a thing that you can see right now. I just cut out the fabric, but this pair of pants I've been procrastinating about for a really long time because I wanted to make a muslin since it's pants, and pants really, like, everybody has a hard time finding pants, right? Like, it's not just me.
Yeah, the perfect fit.
Yeah. But that was why I was procrastinating about it because I didn't want to. And so I looked at the pattern and I compared it to the last pair of pants that I made, which was the Lander pants. And that was like in March. So it was right at the beginning of lockdown. And so they don't fit me anymore. But they did. And crucially, like, I have a really long waist, I guess. So it's like, no, I have a short waist because that's from here to your actual waist. But I have a long lower torso. So from my natural waist to my crotch is a really long distance, like abnormally long distance. That's kind of where all of my height is. Like I'm 5'10", but my legs are not that long. Like my inseam has always been regular. I don't buy tall pants, but like, so my height is like between my crotch and my waist. So anyway, I compared them to the Lander pants, crucially, even though they don't fit me anymore, that length hasn't changed. So I compared the patterns to make sure that the length was correct, and these looked larger in width than the Lander pants. So I was like, it's fine. I'm just gonna cut them and
just go for it.
So this is the fabric.
I love the fabric.
Which I'm very excited about. I also cut like that teal colored fabric that I showed a couple of times ago. For a pillow, I cut that, and then another pillow. So it's like, it felt really nice to have a productive day of just cutting, because that sometimes is the hardest part. I don't know. I feel like it's not the hardest part. It's actually my favorite part now, because in my professional experience, that was what my job was at the costume shop where I worked. I was the cutter, and then like other people did the actual sewing. And so it used to be the hardest and most intimidating part, but like now that I've did it for 2 years, like every single day for my job, it's my favorite part, which is super weird. Like most people hate that part. Yeah, I think I'm just like really slow as a sewer, because it hasn't for a really long time just been my hobby like it was work. So when I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna relax and do a fun thing, it's not my first choice anymore. You're right. But the thing is, I also was talking to my mom the other day about this, and I think it's like, because we're at home so much right now, I'm more focused on cross stitch because it's like home decor, you know, and that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But, you know, more because like in this moment in time, all of our clothing is like really practical. You know, even if we do go outside, it's not like we're going outside to be seen. We're going out, we're like, we need to be efficient, like in our in our outerwear, you know? So it's like, yeah, it's just not as much of a way to express yourself, I think, in this time in the world. So I think that's why I've been a little bit more drawn to cross stitch because, you know, it's still a way that I can express myself, and but also like the nesting feeling is very strong right now. So anyway, last thing, I've gone on a really long time, but last week I talked about some new fabric that I ordered in the mail for stitching, and the new like little projects that I was gonna start making. So I just want to show the fabric, and I did have a new start. This one is not very exciting, but also exciting. It's like it's a taupe color, and this is an even weave, which is slightly different from linen in that, well, it's like a rayon cotton blend, and like the fibers are all exactly the same thickness. So with linen, it's a little bit like slubby sometimes, and some of the, so I guess linen is a little bit more challenging. I really love the look of linen, but I also discovered that even weave is a little cheaper. So that's an exciting thing.
Do they come already
Serged.
Yeah.
Yes, which is very nice. This one is a linen. It's this is all the information. These are all from 123stitch.com, but I'm really excited about this because I have this like feather thing in mind, which I'll show on the screen. So you'll have to watch the video, sorry, not sorry, in order to see it. But I'm really excited because this is like absolutely not a color that I would wear, but it's really pretty, and you know, I'm excited to work with this color in like a home decor sense. And then last week I did show one of the new stitching projects I had in mind, which was Hello Autumn. And so this is the fabric for that, but it's totally not what I was expecting. So this is like an Easter yellow.
Yeah.
But it really looks like an amber color, because I mean it's called amber yellow, but it like in the picture on the website it really looked a lot more browny and neutral. So that's why I didn't start the Hello Autumn right away. That was my plan, but I think I'm going to try to this is, you can see the color better right here. That's definitely
light.
more accurate. So I'm going to try to like either avocado dye it or coffee tea dye, just to take down the bright yellow, because I'm just like more into a neutral mustardy.
It's not really your vibe.
Yeah, no, it's not that it's bad in any way. I mean, like I would use this as like a floss color, you know, as like an accent, but even then it would probably be a brighter yellow. Like this is a very medium yellow.
Statement.
So just like as a background, it's like too strong as a background. So what I did do was start this one.
You got so far.
I know. I've been like obsessively stitching on it. So this one is just called Yellow Flowers, which I'll show on the screen as well.
Very cool.
And you'll notice it's almost exactly the same color as this fabric.
I was just thinking that to myself. A very
Yeah,
similar pattern as well.
but it is a little bit lighter. I do really like this sort of like, um, hand dyed look in terms of the background. So this is a 32 count linen, and I'm using DMC floss, 2 strands over 2 threads. But the coverage, and this sort of like helps me understand what was going on in my first iteration of the pandemic. The coverage is really hard to tell, but this area, like, I feel like you can see the background a little bit better. And this area is a little bit more saturated. So this was 2 strands over 2 threads of fabric, but it was a little bit like, it was looking a little bit greenish, because like this is, again, this is hard to see on video, but it's easier to tell. So like this was the color, but it was looking a little greenish, and I wasn't really happy with it. So I just took a 3rd thread and went over it in that area, which like looks a little bit messier. I think you can tell that the stitches look a little bit messier here, but it was worth it because the saturation of the color is better, I think.
How big is it going to be?
It's gonna be not that much bigger than this. Like, this is the whole piece, so it's probably gonna be like that big.
Cool. Is that like a needle holder you've got on the hoop?
Yes, this is called a needle minder, and
Very
it's
cool.
magnetic.
Oh, yeah,
so
your thread just waiting to go.
yeah, it's really helpful because to keep track of the needles. So this, it's not a pin, it's a magnet right there. And yeah, so like you're
done. Paw as well. That's so cute.
Yeah, because this was what Lola's paws looked like.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. So yeah, this looks like such a mess right now, but this is the color palette. That's really exciting to look at. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I feel like I've
a nest of excitement.
I'd like to stop talking now and listen to what you've been up to.
Well, you know me, Emily. I don't really like talking, but I guess I can.
Please,
thirsty today.
Please grace us with
what I've been up to.
Yeah.
I feel like Nest of Excitement should be the video title as well.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Thank you.
So, I've been in full knit mode, though I will say I have ordered a cross-stitch kit, but it hasn't arrived. It's due to arrive, what day is it today? Monday. It's due to arrive, I think, Thursday to Saturday. I'll show you a picture. I had it ready. I was very prepared this week with my pictures.
Oh, good for you. I should start doing that, because to think of you and not just the
So it's a
wow. Oh, it's a William Morris. That's so beautiful.
So the V&A, which is Victoria Albert Museum in London, I guess it's probably pretty well known.
Yes, I've been there.
It's a really beautiful building, have an amazing collection. That's one of my favorite places.
They also, I think, have a really big collection of needlework specifically. Like, I think they're known for like the biggest needlework collection. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure.
I was about to say they have a really big textile. They also have an amazing jewelry gallery as well, which is one of my favorites too. And they do really cool exhibitions. And anyway, if you're ever in London, it is well worth a visit. And it's right next to the Natural History Museum, which is also amazing, and the Science Museum, which I'm not necessarily as big a fan of. But anyway, my brother, so this is now a side note, now I'm rambling. We went to Imperial College which is a university in London. And in their first year, the halls that they live in are just behind the Victoria Albert Museum. So it's like an amazing location. You literally come out on that road. It's like Victoria Albert Museum's here, the natural history, and then that's the road that you live on in South Kensington. Pretty cool.
That's amazing.
But yeah, so I've ordered this because you just inspired me with all your cross stitch, and I've been thinking about it, and today I took the plunge. So this is going back to why I was talking about V&A. The V&A partnered with DMC, so they've got, I think, a few William Morris things and maybe a couple of Van Gogh things. So yeah, this might be my entry into the cross stitch world.
That's exciting. That design, that print design, is really famous historically. It's called the Strawberry Thief. William Morris designed it in like 1910 or something. And when I was studying graphic design history last summer, it was in my textbook.
So, I just love his design so much.
That's a fun, nerdy fact.
And you can get cushions as well. You can do like bothy threads, do tapestry cushions, all sorts. But I'm thinking if I really enjoy this, then I might have to look at the Long Dog Samplers page and see where this cross stitch could take me. They had another, I thought I'd start with the bookmark, keep it really small.
Yeah.
They had another one that I was like, oh, I really like that one too. And I was like, Sophie, don't buy 2 kits at once because you might do it and hate it. I'm sure I won't. I may have cross-stitched when I was really young, so we'll see. Yeah. I'm not always most patient of people. But great, I'm a knitter now, so.
Yeah.
So speaking of knitting, segued myself there. Mm-hmm. I've been working on my...
Oh, so pretty. You've done so much.
Yeah, what's this called again? My Hallie Pullover. It's really pretty. You'll only be able to see when it's blocked, but yeah, it's fit for the sleeves. I can't remember how much I've done last week, but I've just been knitting because, let's be honest, it's mostly stocking stitch and twisted rib, so it's super easy.
I think you were only like here last week.
Yeah, it feels so quickly. I think once I took the sleeves out as well, because you lose like 100 and something stitches, it just goes dog hair all stuck in it. It's like the bane of my life, dog hair in all my knits. Mm-hmm. I have another jumper that I'm going to measure to see how long I want to make this. I might actually try it on because I prefer, because in the pattern I think it says 30 inches or something, and it's quite a long, it's quite long, and I prefer my jumpers to sit kind of above my hips because I'm a pear shape, and for me I just think that's the most flattering fit on me, is to cut quite short and then wear like high-waisted jeans or whatever, because otherwise my bum just looks absolutely massive. And I don't mind having a massive bum, but gotta show it off in the right way.
Right, yeah, you want to show off your curves for sure.
Exactly, yeah. For me it just feels more flattering. So I might actually try it on and just see, because I usually make things a bit shorter. And I'm hoping I have enough wool left because I'm on my 3rd ball. I've got 3 left. I should be fine. / I'm hoping the mohair doesn't run out as well. So I'm using the leftovers for my cardigan. And the cone's getting smaller and smaller by the minute. So I've been doing that. I also started some socks because why have one project when you can have multiple?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you started those. I didn't send you that pattern.
You didn't. I'm going to do this for my next socks.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was like, I'm just going to get started with something.
I wanted to finish the pattern. It's almost finished. I just need to finish it.
Lucas is out the door. So it's this fluorescent yellow, which is from do you know what? I'm not even going to guess because I can't remember, but I'll put it in the show notes. But we've mentioned them before. It's from the same company who, I want to say AHJC Wools or something. Mm-hmm. From the same company that the mini skeins for my shawl came from. And it's literally like highlighter yellow and then magpie fibres, swanky sock, and smoke and mirrors. And this is Summer Lee's pattern. I did have it ready with a name, but again, should I look it up? Should I be a professional and give you the name of the sock?
Well, we can put it on the screen if you text it.
Still water socks.
Still water?
Yeah, so it's got this mock. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, cute.
Mock cable going down the side.
That looks really nice.
Texture. So again, just really easy. Well, I've been watching the TV, because you don't really need that much light to do it either. And it's just a 4-row repeat. I'm hoping I'm nearly at the heel flap. So I feel like with socks, I knit and knit, I wait for the heel flap, and I wait for the heel flap to be over. And then you knit and knit, and you're like, oh, when will I get to the toe?
Yeah.
And this is I want to show this bag. So I don't know if I've shown these fabrics before. This is like a bag that I just whipped up. It's not lined or anything, but I did cover the seams, which I was very proud of myself for.
Yeah.
And this fabric is from the Bahamas.
Oh,
I think I've shown the fabric before. It says Androsia on it. So it's made in the Isle of Andros, and they hand screen print it all. But it's just been really making me feel cheery. So it's
good.
Pineapple print on a rainy day today.
Yeah.
Then I do have one more knitting thing to show. Before that, my mother-in-law, Lynn, and I went to Hobbycraft before we went into lockdown the other day. As in, we didn't purposely go because we knew there'd be a lockdown. We happened to go before they announced it. And we bought some cracker kits. So they come printed. You could buy ones that you decorated yourselves, but we thought we'd buy the pre-designed ones, and they come with snaps in, and then basically you can just put whatever gifts you want inside. So you spend a happy afternoon filling these with goodies and tying them up.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. I have seen, but I've never done make your own or fill your own crackers before, and now I feel like it's something I want to do all the time. But if I had more time, I'd probably make things to go in them. If people would want that, I don't know.
So do they usually come like you buy them knowing what's inside?
Yeah.
Okay. And what kind of things are usually inside those? Because that's not a thing in the US.
Oh, okay.
It's a British thing.
I sound talking about crackers like everyone has them. So basically, generally come out at Christmas time. You buy them in packs of 6 or 12 or I'm about to say 24. I don't think anyone usually buys 24 crackers, but you could do. We bought 24 crackers to fill. And they usually come with all Christmassy themes, and you get a paper hat inside them, like a little paper crown.
Yeah.
You get a joke. So there's always a terrible joke, like, what did the elves learn at school?
What?
The alphabet. That's the level of cracker jokes. And then they sometimes have a bit of trivia on them as well. And maybe a charades that you have to act out. So there's usually 3 things. And then you get a gift. The gifts are usually things, depending on the level of crackers you buy, because you can get luxury crackers. They're usually things like a pen or nail clippers or a key ring or bottle opener or mini screwdrivers. And then there's usually this funny little ring puzzle game as well. So yeah, so rather than that, we basically, and then when you pull them apart, they snap. So they have a snap, and then so basically you put it with another person, and then whoever wins this section wins the prize.
Oh.
So, but you may not win what's in it. But usually people are very fair and they give you back stuff, or you exchange things. You get bargaining around the Christmas table, like, if you give me this, I will give you my nail clippers and keyring.
That's so fun. So do you open them at Christmas dinner? Yeah,
so Christmas dinner, Boxing Day dinner. It's not necessarily a set. I don't know what the history of crackers is. I'm imagining they're probably Victorian. because most Christmas traditions seem to start with the Victorians. But that could be completely wrong, and please correct me if that is wrong. Yeah, usually before the dinner starts. Well, that's what we do in my family. I guess every family probably does different stuff. But yeah, so you've got 24 homemade crackers. Well, kind of homemade.
Cute.
We went to Hobbycraft, as I said. You could literally buy just the brown paper sheets. They had all these like decorating things, and I think they also had little things you could put inside them as well.
That's so fun.
You need to take crackers to your Christmas dinner.
I know, because I knew about them kind of. I mean, I knew that they were a thing, and I know that in England you all have the paper crowns, which looks just so fun. Like, I want to wear a paper crown, but I would be the only person in New York wearing one. So here's a dumb question. Do you guys do stockings also? Like Christmas morning stockings?
Yeah, it's kind of, again, it depends on family. Like, we don't tend to do them anymore now. My brother and I are older, but we used to do them when we were younger. Or like went to my granny's house, we used to have like a Christmas stocking. But my mum's kind of, maybe she still does do it. I don't know, but yeah, it is a thing as well. Like, kind of appears at the end of your bed at nighttime.
Oh, really? Because we always have them over the fireplace. So you go out in the living room and that's the first thing you open in the morning. And I think, I mean, I don't know about other families, but my family, we still do them as adults. And as you were describing what's in a cracker, like it sounds like stocking stuffers, you know.
Yeah, in our stockings, you tend to have more, well, for us, again, like everyone's probably different. Like chocolates, like a Terry's chocolate orange, because that's one of my favorite things.
Oh, I love those.
Christmas, which is a chocolate that is the size of an orange.
And you break it open and then like slight wedges. Those are so awesome.
The chocolate ones are my particular favorites. And there's this great, I always remember this advert with Dawn French, who is an English comedian, kind of actress. Most known, I suppose, for Ab Fab, Absolutely Fabulous, or French and Saunders, both great TV shows. I'll send you links. I think they're on Netflix. And she always used to go, "It's not Terry's, it's mine." And she kind of did the adverts for years. And that's what I always think of whenever you like smash it, get it to break. But again, was a complete side note.
We do chocolate and stuff in stockings too. And when we were little, it was more candy and chocolate than it is now. But sometimes you get like a toothbrush and toothpaste in your stocking because if your parents are cruel and or good parents, I mean, but a lot of times as we've gotten older, it's just like miniature sized presents and a couple of chocolates, but like a miniature thing of a notepad, like, you know, and we always used to get Pez dispensers too, like Santa themed Pez dispensers. Those were really fun. And watches one time, I remember we got like watches and Pez dispensers. And we have this tradition in my nuclear family where we always get one present on Christmas Eve, and it's usually pajamas because when we were little kids, that was like the best way for my mom to get us to actually go to bed on Christmas Eve so that she could do like present wrapping and stuff. So if anybody out there has little children, that's a really good tip. Like get them pajamas on Christmas Eve. It's a good way to get them to go to bed.
My brother and I sometimes get pajamas, but we have requested for a couple of years to have matching pajamas.
Oh, that's so cute.
And then on Christmas Day, just not get dressed. We'll get dressed into the pajamas.
Yeah.
Which is great because elasticated waistband on Christmas Day is always
absolutely what you need for sure. Yeah. That's so cute.
Speaking of Christmas, I've got something else Christmas themed. So as you know, my mother-in-law is a quilter. I'm not necessarily a sewist. I do it, I guess, reluctantly because I want the product. So last year, so this has come back to me. So last year I sent her a quilt block and I said, oh, wouldn't this look so cool on a cushion? And then it's come back to me this year as a, let's make it. So I'm going to learn how to make it. Talk me through. So this is from Broadcloth Studio. I'm not really sure where they're based, but it's called Blitzen Quilt Block. I've seen some really cute ones on Instagram where people have added like little pom-poms and stuff for the nose too. So I'm going to learn how to make it because all looks very complicated and quilty. So I'll have to learn how to piece. And I've got some really cute. Aww. So basically I think it's the background fabric is lighter and then the reindeer itself will be in one of these sort of cute fabrics, which is just from Hobbycraft. So fat quarters from Hobbycraft. I really like this. Yeah, these blues. They feel really good. They're like brushed cotton,
flannel, probably.
Yeah, nice and soft. Yeah. So hopefully next week when I see you, I'll have a quilt block, which I'm planning on making into a cushion cover.
That's exciting.
See how that goes. Usually I kind of get bored and stuff. I'm like, oh, do I have to cut out more squares? Yeah. The last thing I've got is in shoved this tiny little project bag, which is the beginnings of an owlet sweater from Kate Davies.
So that you started right before you moved, right?
Yes. So I did a bit more on it and still haven't got, I think I'm at the point where I now need to add the arms. And then I think I stopped the day because I got a bit confused by the instructions for the arms. I need to sit down and actually look at them properly. But I mostly want to finish it because I put it onto interchangeable needles. So I just want my interchangeable needles back. And I was like, Sophie, this whip cannot be languishing here any longer because it's kind of useful size cable. Mm-hmm. I probably need to buy extra cables, but until that point, I was like, I feel like it was on another pair of needles, I would just leave it in the back of the cupboard and maybe not do any more on it. But because I want my needles back, I will finish it. Yeah. And also it's really easy. So I guess because it's all just stockinette and because it's for a child, it's literally like, this is what size of a hat or something. I probably should just get on and actually do it. And her birthday. So I made it I'm making it for my guide daughter, which is like a goddaughter, but the non-religious version. And her birthday was back in September and it's now November. So I guess I probably should go on and just do it. As Nike would say, just do it, Sophie. I might ask your opinion on the instructions. Because, I think there was a point, it's like the sleeve splitting, and I was just like, what does this mean? But sometimes it's just because I'm not reading something properly, and then, when the penny drops, like, oh, I was being really silly.
I do that all the time with knitting patterns, because I'm like, oh, I'm such a good knitter, I can just skim this and then like do this really fast, and then I miss like a really important abbreviation or something. And
then before now I've been slagging people off going, oh, the maths in this pattern is all wrong, I can't believe this. And I've even like looked up errata for the pattern because it can't be me just misreading something, it has to be the pattern that's wrong. It's like, no, Sophie, counter stitch. And I go back and I'm like, oh, this is why this doesn't work, let me just undo it, or now just try and move forward with a mistake and make it work.
Yeah.
Because it's not me, Emily, it's everyone else.
Not you.
The last thing, just one last thing, I'm just going to show. I was looking through this embroidery magazine.
Ooh.
Called Love Embroidery. I don't know if you can get this in the US.
I've never heard of it.
print in the UK, but they had an interview with Maureen Bolstad, who I can't remember her Instagram handle, but I'll send it to you. In fact, I think I'm not going to say her Instagram handle because I can't pronounce it, but it's like Fly Street Knitwear or something, which is really bad. But she does, you would probably recognize her stuff. She does all the embroidery on knitwear. So that was quite an interesting article. So that's what drew me in initially. And then I got distracted by all the lovely things in here. And now I really want to make this garland, which I'll find for you. And there's really, well, they have really cute stuff. So it's like a really nice Christmas advent calendar.
Oh, cute.
Just having a flick through, and then I was like, oh, I can make all the things. Where's this? It had Christmas cards, free motion stitching Christmas cards, which I thought was pretty cool.
Ooh, oh, so you would do that on a machine?
Yeah, I'll send you a photo because I don't feel like you can see it. I've lost what I'm looking for. It's basically made out of felt. There's all these little bits of brightly coloured, but here it is. I thought, how nice is this?
Cute.
They're like folksy.
Yeah.
They're really pretty. And I was like, oh, I would love to make that. So I've kept it to be like, oh, I'll definitely make these. I probably won't make it till next Christmas, but I have aspirations. I felt very inspired by the magazine in general. There's some really nice Christmassy projects, and this was nice as well. This little Christmas theme.
That's really cute.
Then, of course, I had to order the cross stitch bookmark just to get me going. Get some thread in my hands.
Yeah. That's exciting.
All I have to share.
So many crafts, so little time.
DMC also have some really nice
They do.
free floral motifs as well.
Yeah.
I've saved loads to my phone. Again, I don't know what I was thinking. I've got like 20 saved or something. I don't think I'll ever get around to doing them.
I wish we could just have a day where we could like get together and both do a whole bunch of embroidery. Like both be like, get started already. You know, because like, and which I'm not saying as like a you thing, because I've been wanting to do embroidery for a long time, which is why I picked up cross stitch, you know, because I was like, oh, maybe this will scratch the embroidery itch. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wait, I want to do actual embroidery also. So yeah.
Yeah, I just need to get the fabric and the threads.
I was thinking about it. I think that like, I don't think it's so important what the fabric is. Like, I think almost any fabric is fine.
Yeah.
So, but I was thinking about Robert Kaufman, Essex linen. It's like a 50% linen, 50% cotton. That might be really nice for embroidery because it's a flat weave and it's got some body, but it's not too heavy. So I don't know if you guys can receive parcels from fabric.com, but they have it. It's like fabric.com is an Amazon company.
Oh, cool. I'm just Googling them.
Which makes me feel like maybe you could. But there's also lots of there's a store called the Fabric Godmother, I think, in the UK that people really like. That's more for garments, but yeah, I think that Essex by Robert Kaufman would be perfect for embroidery.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe a good way to start would be like a little Christmas decoration, kind of like the one I sent you the other day, which I guess no one else knows about, but I sent Emily these Shakespearean inspired ornaments from a website called CREWEL.com. And they have some amazing motifs and things on there. I think it is just the pandemic sampler you're working on that's wormed its way into my subconscious.
Oh, good. It's such a good one. Yeah.
And so it's kind of a very similar-esque, I suppose, in terms of style, but embroidery. And it's a motif. It's been created with both Shakespeare Society, or whatever the actual name of it is. So it's like an official, it's been taken off a piece of fabric in their house or something in their dress. There's lots of different ones.
The motif, yeah, that's awesome.
So it's kind of accurate in that sense.
If you like the look of long dog samplers, cross stitch patterns, you might also like this other designer called Modern Folk Embroidery. He's in the UK. So is Long Dog, actually. His name is Jacob de Graaf. But the thing with Long Dog samplers, they're gorgeous, but they're all, or many, are really enormous. And I think that Modern Folk Embroidery has a similar vibe, but he does some smaller pieces as well.
Oh, yeah, I'm just looking at his stuff now.
He's got really, really beautiful. There's one pattern.
I really like samplers. It makes me kind of think of going around to all these different national I think I said this before. National spaces, and just seeing all these things on the wall. Like, it's just so nice.
I agree. And I really love how it just makes me think a lot about women in history, and how I think I've probably mentioned this to you before, but how like women didn't really have a voice in history, and a lot of these samplers have like the stitcher's initials and the date, and it's, it makes you think about that woman's life, and it's really good. Okay, so the one I want to make is called Summer Kaleidoscope.
Oh yeah, that's so pretty. I love the little birds and the hearts.
Yeah, me too. So that's my next like big one, but it's gonna be a while before I start that.
So nice. I'm definitely gonna have a browse on there as soon as we're finished here. I feel like in a browsing mood. Actually, not in a making mood, but making new things.
I'm in a making mood, and it's like I'm in that mood where it's a rainy day and you just want to sit and like do your crafting, but it's totally a sunny day and I have a lot of other stuff to do, so really can't do that.
I guess you just sometimes, that's like the good thing about having Lucas, is like in the morning, so we're getting up really early to walk him, and then it's like you get back and it's only 9 a.m. or something. Like, oh, now I've been outside, I can sit down and do some crafting, because it's not like I haven't, don't have the guilt of not going outside.
Yeah.
And then, now it's also raining for the next week, which is also quite helpful on the crafting front. But my brother has got really into calligraphy, because he and his fiancée are getting married in not until 2023, but they're planning on doing the calligraphy for the wedding. So he's got really into it, and I really enjoy calligraphy because I learned for our wedding to do it, and it's just really relaxing. It's just something really therapeutic about just writing out letters and practicing the same thing over and over again. And so I keep giving him tips and kind of sharing ideas. He's getting really excited about it as well. But it just made me want to get all my calligraphy stuff back so that I can do things, because now I'm a bit jealous.
Yeah.
You're going to do all this stuff and it looks really fun. It looks fun. I know it's fun.
Yeah.
I don't have any of my calligraphy things. I'm not going to buy new things. I have so much stuff. So yeah, I'm just waiting. So I want to do Christmas cards and little Christmas labels and stuff. Not like I bought any Christmas presents or even started.
Right.
Well, the sock's going to be a Christmas present. probably for my brother.
You started thinking about it though. That's the first step.
That step. And I always leave it till the last minute. Like it's
Me
what,
too.
9th of November, and
Yeah.
I'm just starting Christmas gifts. So I do every year, and I only end up making one thing.
You'll have to do a tutorial when your calligraphy stuff comes because I want to learn from you.
Yeah, I do more, I guess it's called modern calligraphy, which is like the higgledy-piggledy. It's more
Yeah.
free motion, going with whatever you feel is right. And I think it allows you to find more of a style.
Right.
Whereas Lewis is doing more, I guess it's kind of like a cross between modern calligraphy. I was about to say modern embroidery, modern calligraphy and copper plates. So he's trying to get the slant on there. So it definitely feels a bit more regimented. Whether he'll end up sticking with that or not, I don't know. But yeah, it's so much fun.
That's cool.
Definitely. I can give you lots of recommendations for pretty inks and things to buy, which is half the fun.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And just lettering everything.
Yeah. I feel like I could easily incorporate that into design stuff. That's already a big part of my design work is like illustration and lettering. So definitely the more knowledge I can get about both fonts and calligraphy separately, the better a designer will be. So
Yeah, I can definitely send you some accounts that I love as well. It's so nice to see. I think it's the same as, I guess, any form of art, really. You can kind of take little, well, not take little bits, that sounds rude, but you can see things that you like in other people along with your own style. And it's really interesting watching different people do calligraphy videos of different people because you go, oh, that's how you form this letter. That's a really interesting way of doing it. Or I don't know, you kind of pick up different tips. It's just really, I know, I just find it fascinating to see
yeah,
how other people write things. And I think everyone has lettering that feels more natural to them, but it's kind of interesting to see how you can adapt that just with different muscle memories or
yeah,
whatever.
for sure.
It's really soothing as well. I guess it's like that just watching someone do something repetitively. It's just all these like swirls and
Yeah.
stuff.
I just looked at the time and I have an appointment at 1:30, so I need to go. But it was so lovely to chat with you.
You too, as always.
Um, so yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you guys are doing well at home. Please give us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you're working on. And until next week, don't forget to
Take it slow.
slow.
See you next week.